Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, AGNDD intelliReport topic. Hensley Henson. Please pardon any visual and informational inaccuracies in this entirely AI-generated article-based video. Herbert Hensley Henson. From a rigid evangelical childhood in Victorian England to scholarly triumph at Oxford, shaping a controversial clerical path. Herbert Hensley Henson was born in London in 1863 to businessman Thomas Henson and his wife Martha. The family moved to Broadstairs in 1865, where Thomas, a strict evangelical and Plymouth Brethren follower, imposed a bleak, isolated childhood on his children, worsened by Martha's death in 1870. Forbidden school and play, young Henson self-educated via the family library, reading works like Fox's Book of Martyrs and Milton's Paradise Lost, fostering a deep interest in divinity and aversion to fanaticism. His stepmother, Emma Parker, married 1873, enriched his education with literature like Scott and classics. Baptized at 14, he briefly attended Broadstairs Collegiate School, but left after clashing with the headmaster. He taught at Brigg Grammar School, then studied at Oxford as an unattached student, earning a first-class modern history degree in 1884 despite isolation and financial constraints. Herbert Hensley Henson's exceptional scholarship earned him a fellowship at All Souls College, Oxford, in 1884 at age 20, providing a £200 stipend and financial stability. Welcomed warmly, he formed lasting friendships, though possibly feeling like an outsider. Mentored by Warden Sir William Anson, Henson's paper on William II drew acclaim for his eloquent Hensonia style. To curb his quick tongue, he always wrote out lectures and sermons fully. Nicknamed Coxley Cocksure for his controversialism, he tutored Lyle Rathbone in Birkenhead in 1885, visiting local churches and affirming his religious vocation. Vowing dedication to God and the Church of England, he leaned toward high churchmanship, influenced by Charles Gore and Puseyites, while opposing nonconformism. As secretary of the Oxford Laymen's League, he defended Anglican establishment against disestablishment threats. Herbert Hensley Henson, motivated by poverty seen in Birkenhead, began ministering to the poor. Ordained deacon in 1887, he led the Oxford House settlement in Bethnal Green, sharpening his oratory through debates with atheists. Ordained priest in 1888, he became the youngest vicar in England at St. Margaret S. Barking, a working-class parish of 12,000. He revitalized it energetically, restoring the church, opening clubs, and holding open-air services, drawing crowds from 250 to 1,100. His high church views were embraced, leading to preaching at St. Albans, Holborn. Health strained by relentless work, he took a lighter role as chaplain at St. Mary's Hospital, Ilford, 1895-1900. He served as Oxford's select preacher, 1895-96, and chaplain to the Bishop of St. Albans from 1897. Publishing 4 books, 1897-1900, he shifted to broad church latitudinarianism, critiquing Anglo-Catholic ritualists in Cui Bono, 1899. In 1900, Prime Minister Salisbury appointed Herbert Hensley Henson as rector of St. Margaret S. Westminster and canon of Westminster Abbey, a high-profile role that drew large congregations with his eloquent liberal preaching. He married Isabella Caroline Denniston in 1902. The childless union endured despite miscarriages. From his pulpit, Henson advocated ecumenism, criticized inadequate religious education, and in 1912 denounced the Putumayo atrocities, exposing British directors' enslavement of indigenous Peruvians. He published 9 books on theology and society, defended liberal clergy against bishops, and faced heresy accusations. His independence led to conflicts, like defying Bishop Gore in 1909, delaying promotions despite talents. Anecdotes highlight resistance, such as King Edward VII rejecting him for York, and Asquith deeming him too disruptive for Lincoln Deanery. Herbert Henson was appointed Dean of Durham in 1913, sparking controversies over divorce laws, church governance, and opposition to the life and liberty movement favoring synodical control. He rejected teetotalism, socialism, and social reform as religious allies and supported bishops in the Kikuyu ecumenical dispute against critics like Gore. During W1, Henson urged resistance to German aggression while promoting cosmopolitanism. He opposed Welsh church disestablishment, addressing nonconformists, which may have influenced Lloyd George. A doctrinal row arose from Henson's defense of clergy doubting the virgin birth and resurrection, but Archbishop Davidson affirmed his orthodoxy. Despite Anglo-Catholic opposition, Lloyd George appointed him Bishop of Hereford in 1917. He was consecrated in 1918 amid boycotts. Henson's elevation fueled debates on bishop selection. He was warmly welcomed in rural Hereford, treating locals as equals. Herbert Hensley Henson became Bishop of Durham in 1920 amid economic strife in the coal mining region and tensions with Dean James Weldon, which eased under successor Cyril Allington. Henson engaged warmly with miners but opposed strikes, trade unions, and socialism, prioritizing individual spiritual welfare over social reform. A famous anecdote highlights his wit. Responding to Archbishop Lang's portrait complaint, Henson quipped about its proud, pompous, prelatical depiction. He championed the 1927 to 1928 Book of Common Prayer revisions, clashing with evangelicals and decrying Parliament's rejection as a betrayal, fueling his campaign for church disestablishment. Henson criticized ultra-liberalism, American evangelism like Frank Buckman's Oxford Group, a cleric's role in the Duke of Windsor's wedding, and Axis dictators, often standing isolated. Winston Churchill, impressed by Hensley Henson, persuaded him out of retirement in 1940 to resume his role as Canon of Westminster Abbey. Henson preached vigorously until cataracts forced his retirement in 1941. He declined a Masonic position due to age. In later years, Henson felt profound loneliness, exacerbated by his wife Ella's deafness. He found comfort in her companion Fionn Booker, who lived with them for over 30 years. Henson wrote his memoirs, Retrospect of an Unimportant Life, 3 volumes, which some criticized as self-justifying, though his letters were praised as a better legacy. His regrets included not attending a public school, fostering his outsider feelings, and childlessness, which he believed diminished his happiness. The Hensons unofficially adopted and educated poor boys, with at least one becoming a priest ordained by Henson. Henson died on the 27th of September 1947 at 83 in Hintlesham. His ashes were interred in Durham Cathedral. Towards the end of his life, Herbert Hensley Henson humbly assessed his career as unimportant. He had championed no cause, led no party, been the darling of no society, written no popular book, and produced a journal lacking public interest or literary merit. Yet, his successor as Bishop of Durham, Michael Ramsey, argued that Henson's detachment from contemporary trends preserved his profound influence. This derived from his deep grasp of classical Anglican divinity, unwavering intellectual integrity, and firm belief in the enduring pastoral duties outlined in the prayer book for the Church's ministry. Part Binns concludes his biography of Henson. Text cuts off here. Summary of provided book citations. This list references 3 historical publications related to Anglicanism, religion, and biography. Church Problems, A View of Modern Anglicanism. London, John Murray, 1900, OCLC 29980088. Explores contemporary issues in the Anglican Church at the turn of the 20th century. The Naked Truth, by Bishop Herbert Croft. London, Chatto and Windus, 1919 reprint of 1674 original, OCLC 2654366413. A 17th century pamphlet advocating religious tolerance and critiquing ecclesiastical practices. A Memoir of the Right Honourable Sir William Anson, Oxford Clarendon Press, 1920, OCLC 4065005. A biographical account of the British jurist and politician Sir William Anson, highlighting his contributions to law and education. These works span religious discourse and personal histories from the 17th to 20th centuries. This bibliography comprises 21 sources spanning 1899-2014, primarily focused on Church of England history, key figures, and Anglicanism. It includes biographies like John Stuart Pert Binns on Herbert Hensley Henson, 2013, and George Bell's on Randall Davidson, 1935, autobiographies such as Henson's 3-volume Retrospect of an Unimportant Life, 1942-1950, and studies on religious personalities, for example, Harold Begbie's Painted Windows, 1922. Other works cover topics like the Book of Common Prayer Crisis, Brian Spink's 2006, Clerical Dress, Vincent and Tonkin, 1930, and political figures like Ellen Wilkinson, Paula Bartley, 2014. Publishers include Oxford University Press, Hodder and Stoughton, and Boydell. ISBNs and OCLC numbers are provided for most entries. Thus, Henson's early trials forged a brilliant, contentious cleric, destined to challenge and reform the Church of England.
Thank you for watching this AGNDD intelliReport, dear viewers. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell button to get notified during new uploads. And make sure to tune in next time. Stay safe and healthy. Cheers.